Crave by Kiesza. It is 9 songs, 32 minutes long. It's her first album in 6 years or so, because she released an album in 2014 called Sound of a Woman. If you some of you will recognize Hideaway. I actually first heard her music from, I believe, Little Boots did a DJ set in Mixmag 5-6 years ago and had Hideaway on it, and then I saw her album because I really liked it because it's there's a song, So Deep, which is the fourth track on there, and that's more like your UK garage house mixes and stuff, so that was in there in that album, and I really liked that style of music. Especially started to become popular in 2014 around that time. More of the garage stuff was kind of coming out.
Yeah, like deeper house pop kind of thing.
Yeah.
Hideaway, I think maybe it was that same Mixmag thing, but I remember like going to like a cheap sort of like silent disco in college and hearing that song sort of like as one of the beginning drops of it, and it was like at night, and one of those super like magical college experience things is that was nice, and yeah, it threw down. Kiesza is definitely capable of a couple bangers, but it's not always been super consistent to me.
Yeah.
And so going into this drop, so it feels complete enough to be an album.
I think it's complete enough to be an album.
And it's also been a very long time since she's released
it.
So I think we can call this an album, even though 32 minutes is definitely on the very, very short side. But yeah, I was looking for like, does it have any sort of consistency? Can it be like consistently good? And I didn't really find that personally.
No, like the first song I actually like, Run Renegade, it sounded like a dystopian pop, so kind of like a mix between Lady Gaga and Billie Eilish, I would say, for that first song, where it's like looking inward to saying, hey, I'm this beautiful person, I don't need to change for anybody or whatnot. And her vocals were fantastic in it. I think one thing that's shown throughout this album is how powerful her vocals are, because her first album, you could see it a bit, but it was more of the production quality of it and stuff, which I liked a lot more. And then this one, her vocals are showing up more, but I think the production took a side note in it because I had some issues with it. But the first song I thought started on a strong note. I'm like, okay, it's that kind of like dystopian pop, which I do enjoy. I like it. I think it's a good direction to go for that if you wanted to do a pop album like that. And I'm like, okay, so she started to venture out from that. The second song, All of These Feelings, I didn't like at all because, you know, what was my favorite thing on earth? Snap clap. So then it started off with a snap clap. I'm like, god damn it. Okay. And then that was just kind of your cheesy, I want to say super cheesy, but like your run-of-the-mill pop song style where it's just, okay, it's nothing too crazy. Again, the vocals are fantastic. I really like the lyrics, but the production of it just, it was too distracting because the production was so crap compared to her vocals and the lyrics in it. So that's one thing that if it upstands each other, then it can be just as good. And I like, there's a couple other songs I do like. When Boys Cry, I think is really good because that's looking into like ripping apart the male ego. Basically, you're saying like other people have emotions and stuff too in there, and I like that it's a little bit slower in that. And then the last is before that you have Crave, Can't Be Saved, Love Me With Your Lie, and those are okay songs. I think again the production took a step backwards from her first album. Her vocals are more prevalent in it, but it's more of like kind of a generic-ish EDM pop style once it gets there. Because the problem to me is like, it started with Run Renegade, it started very strong. I'm like, oh shit, okay, this, maybe it'll be kind of like what Lady Gaga's album was earlier this year, and I might really like it. And it didn't hit for that. The last two songs were actually pretty solid with Love Never Dies and Dance With Your Best Friend. Because
Love Never Dies is my favorite.
Yeah, that's going to be my favorite on the album too. That and Run Renegade.
I feel like Love Never Dies is a really kind of passionate song. It shows like, I think some aspects of Kiesza are just like very typical love tropes in music. We talk about that all the time. I think we can always go deeper in music, blah, blah, blah. Welcome to Audioface podcast. Anyways, but
my main thing, I love the drums in it because it's a big kicking drum in it, and then like it slowly builds up through that song because it's a longer song on the album, and it, like by the end of it, just like has a powerful climax into the song. It's very good. I like that one a lot. Yeah. So that's why like there was 3 songs in here that I thought were very good. The first one and the last 2, I thought if she made more of that into an album, I think it would have been very, very well done. The rest, kind of that chunk in the middle, minus When Boys Cry, was just really bland to me. So there's still some good stuff that she's making. I think some people are gonna have a lot of fun like remixing and stuff. Because that's how I heard some of her stuff. Because you could definitely put like "Love Never Dies" or "Dance with Your Best Friend." You can put those in mixes and stuff and mess around with it. Like I could see Scream doing that in a DJ set. I hope he does because that would be dope.
This is definitely ripe for any number of electronic artists to make use of these really good vocals. 'Cause that's another issue in electronic music is that the vocals are oftentimes lacking or really generic. Definitely not Kiesza's problem at all. But this will definitely benefit from some tighter production, some more imaginative production, some more adventurous production especially. And so that's an excellent point there, Sean. I can't wait for the electronic remix community to really get their hands on this.
Yeah, because to me, I wouldn't say it's too much of a letdown, but I think because I like the sound of a woman so much, because I like that specific sound a lot. It's my favorite because I like deep house, I like garage, there's a lot of that style I like. And I think I was going into it, I expected that a little bit more, but I understand you stray away from it because it is very niche. And it did have like popularity around that time because Settle came out and you have some of that in Settle as well from Disclosure, but it's nothing like too wild within it. So,
yeah.
Anyways, so our arbitrary scale this episode is vice presidential picks because young Kamala Harris is a cop. He got that nomination.
Yeah,
to be vice president. So.
I even said in the Audioface cold open, so I sort of trapped myself last week that potential vice presidential picks would be a great arbitrary scale. I actually went with like historical ones, but I think I'm going to also do it in like the people who are going to be in the race itself for the 2020 like Biden thing, because there are a bunch of people who are like in the ballpark. I remember Susan Rice was one. Like she seems like she had a lot of qualities that were going to work out really well for her, but otherwise didn't have enough strength on her own, like abilities or experience as an executive in the presidential stage. So like she had a lot of good qualities, but couldn't quite stand on her own, but maybe with like a good surrounding network would be great. Like I could see Susan Rice for a cabinet position, but not heartbeat away from the president. I also can't see Kamala Harris in that either, but nevertheless.
So is that Susan Rice? Would that be yours? Susan Rice? Okay. Mine is going to be, let's see. Damn, there's a lot I can do. It's going to be solid Bob Doyle.
Bob Dole?
Oh, Bob, yeah, but I like to call him Bob Doyle.
Oh, God.
Because, it was vice president from Gerald Ford that no one ever remembers because Gerald Ford was president for, like, barely right after Nixon, after Nixon got ousted out. That was a solid Bob Dole, where it's like, does nothing wrong, isn't anything spectacular, but, solid. And that's it.
That works.